Welcome back to the NattyShedLife Podcast. Who's this? Who's the man with the mustache? My name's Ross. I am the producer of the NattyShedLife Podcast. Today we have a very special treat for all of you listeners and watchers if you're following us on YouTube. Today we are speaking to Cara and Nicola, who are at the heart of everything that happens at G&M. They have an incredible relationship. They hold each other up every day, and I am very excited to get into this episode and also be guesting as the host / interviewer of the podcast. So let's get into it. Well.
What do we have here?
How the turns have tabled. How does it feel to be over there, Cara?
It's a little bit different, a little bit wacky.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
a bit unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the pod. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
Well, I mean, we're a bit busy today. I don't know if you've noticed, but yeah, I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, I feel very underdressed, compared to the pair of yous, but, nice that you made an effort.
Yeah.
To those of you who are listening and driving, maybe while you're listening to this, the pair of them are in their wedding dresses.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So, it is your turn on the NattyShedLife podcast.
It is.
So why don't we start, actually? Because obviously we don't, the people that we've been speaking about so far in this season have not had an opportunity to introduce themselves.
No.
But I would like you both to introduce yourself, if that's okay. Nick, if you'd like to go first.
Okay. I am Nicola, and I am the Business Development Manager at Gillies Mackay, and also work on the NattyShedLife Podcast. Woohoo!
Fabulous.
Yeah. Cara?
Me, I am Cara Mackay, and I sell the best fucking sheds in the world. Yeah. And also I'm the talent, but I've given the talent badge to Ross today for the podcast. Where is the talent badge? You lost it already?
I don't know where to put it.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, it's over there. It's fine.
Never mind.
It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think so. Obviously, the pair of you know yourselves.
Yeah.
You know each other quite intimately. I think now.
Yes.
You're like very close. So I think we're going to do a bit of a deep dive on your relationship.
Oh God, right.
Hopefully this doesn't feel too much like counselling.
We probably need it, to be fair, Nick. Yeah.
Counselling, therapy,
Yeah.
whatever you want. Yeah. So I am going to ask Nick to maybe start us off a little bit. So you mentioned to me that you met Cara in a cafe for the first time in Dundee. Yeah. What did you see in her then?
So, when we were in the cafe in Dundee, I think that was the day that you were like, come and work for us at CMA.
Yeah.
And I remember that day because I remember you coming in, and I remember going to see you, and you had Luna. And Luna was in our wee pram at the time. And I can't remember the ins and outs of the details, of what had happened, but I remember you offering the job that day, and I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting, because I think before that we were at CMA Live, and I was coming to help you and Chris out do some tweeting, I think it was, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just like, yeah, let's just do it, see what happens. And then you offered the job at the back of that, and I was just so fucking excited, because being at that event at the time was just mind blowing to me. I was just amazing, seeing all these speakers, being in that community, and it just the vibes, the vibes were just so amazing, and there was heart there as well. And I remember the day in the cafe as well when you had Luna, and I was just like, fucking hell, she's doing all this, and she's bringing her baby along, and you are still working away whilst your baby's Luna's no long born. And it kind of reminded me of myself a little bit as well, in terms of after I had Morgan, and I went back to uni 3 weeks after having her, because I was just gotta get this fucking done. Got shit to do. So I felt I connected with you in a way there, just seeing you in that moment with Luna, and just doing your shit. And I was just like, yeah, we're doing our shit. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember those CMA days, like back then. It was like very exciting, and it was obviously like the events that took over everything.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
So obviously, you were brought on, and you were there for a time. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there a point where you, Cara, maybe realised that like Nick was more than just a hire? If that makes sense. Like, where did you kind of see where there was something in Nick that, you know, the two of you obviously.
It's funny that you mentioned that Luna was there, because I'd forgotten that sort of like part of the conversation, but I do remember why we asked you to come and work for us, and it was more to do with what Chris and I were needing at that time in terms of support in his business, which is the CMA element, which was the events that we were running. And I thought at the time that when I seen you, not just at CMA Live, but when we first brought you to Kickoff as well in Dundee, that there was something about you, Nick, that, I don't know, just rang true for me, as in I could relate to you, and I knew that you would get me, because like that's not always an easy thing to do, because I always find that I'm quite, you know, either love me or hate me type of person, and more often than not folk don't really get me, but you did. And I needed that security, because I know how fast-paced my life is and how chaotic it can be, and I need somebody to understand that everything I'm doing is within good intention, and I might not always be able to communicate that well. And I think that you just like you, to me, like it was like I see so much of myself in you as well, so like I just knew that the connection was right there. And then, so like when we went through like the CMA sort of journey that was quite short-lived in terms of like timeline, there was like the obviously the fact that my personal life was quite chaotic, like a brand new baby, 2 other children and a stepson. So like that, all of that life sort of took hold of me at that time. And I remember really struggling with postnatal depression, and Chris was working from home and you were working with Chris a lot. And that's really what I needed, like, was to know that you had my back, and I wasn't at my best. And I think having that vulnerability on display for somebody that I'd just met really was quite extraordinary. And I think, you know, it's like a fucking trauma bond or something, in terms of just like, you know, being at such a fragile state, to be able to recognize somebody that sees you, gets it, understands, has the patience to wait, and is able to support you in ways that you probably didn't even know at the time as well. So like, I think when it came to sort of like the end of CMA, and obviously with what was going on in Gillies Mackay at the time, like it just made complete and utter sense to me. Like I couldn't not see a future without us in it together, you know? So yeah, I think that's it.
So what happened after that? So like, you know, so CMA kind of came to an end, and then you were kind of brought in. I think you've maybe actually spoke about your joining G&M on the pod before, actually, haven't you? I'm trying to think.
Well, maybe just relating to some of the more senior people, and your relationships with Callum and Dean at the beginning of G&M, and feeling supported by them and stuff like that. Yeah. Because it would have been, well, you'll tell us, it will have been fucking, you know, daunting to say the least. But that the transition from CMA to G&M, for me, how it worked out was that shit was going down in G&M. The office manager at the time had stolen a shit ton of money from the company. I think I was maybe 12 weeks into my maternity leave at that point, and we obviously had to terminate that office manager's contract, which meant that then I had to go straight back to work with the baby, and then sort of like try and salvage what was the state of my office and the running of the business. And all the while, CMA was needing to be wound down as well, that it'd come to its time, blah de blah. So there was like a 4-month window of just like everything, all shit hitting the fan. And then when it came to CMA ending, I don't know if you guys remember, but we went to, I think, Bird and Bear in Dundee, and we closed everything down. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were like
All the accounts,
deleting the website.
deleting.
It was like all blackout. It was like
a
this
ceremony.
big ceremony thing.
Yeah.
Like it felt like so powerful at the time. I remember how that felt at the time. And already at that time, I was saying to Nick, like, I need you to come and work for me instead now. Like this is where we go from here. And that transition from working one-on-one with an entrepreneur running a small enterprise into Gillies and Mackay with a shit ton of staff and a hell of a lot of problems. Like I can't even imagine what you must have been thinking at that point.
Like, was it like, I mean, like, how was it actually in terms of like, so obviously you knew probably a lot of people already, but there was a lot of chaos happening at the time, right? Would that be
yes,
fair,
that would be definitely fair to say.
Yeah, I think like because I picked up on some of the wee things that were going on in CMA because you were part of the community, so you were sharing some things that were going on as well. But I remember us sitting in I think, was it the Bird and Bear that day? Or maybe it was the back, I can't remember. And you saying, like, I seen it in your eyes, like, I really need, I'm looking for a sales and marketing person, like, come and work for me. And at that time, I think I was processing everything that was going on, but also unsure and scared of doing that because it was a big step. It was something different from going, like you say, going into this small wee space where you're working on one-on-one into like a company, is a big step, and it was far away from home. You know, there's loads of things that you need to think about there. But I was like, I mean, this is you put an opportunity in front of me, and I was just like, well, it makes sense. Like, go for it, and like, I want to help. So if I can help, I'll try and help. So joined Gillies Mackay, and like I can't remember much at the time of like first joining, but I remember coming here and like it's like walking back into, I don't even know what decade it is. Right?
It's his own decade.
Yeah. maybe early 90s, something like that. And I was just like, whoa, what is this place? But it was beautiful as well. Like I'd never seen I mean, I've never even thought about a shed in my life, right? Never. And I come into this place and Cara's got it set up all beautiful with the summer houses and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And then it's in the middle of a field. It's like, oh, this is nice as well. But you walk into the offices, and the offices are like what our Peace Hut is like today. And it's like, you know, you're working out of a shed, so it's like a wee bit dark, a wee bit dingy. And you're working at this little like made up, I don't even know what you'd call them, like workstation things that the have all made as well. And I think at the time it was Julia was working. She was
the temp.
Yeah, the temp.
Yeah. Julia.
So she was working at the time, and I remember one specific memory. We were in the garage that was here at the time, and I think you were like, right, need to get ready all the paperwork in the garage or whatever it was, or move it. So right, me and Julia were like, right, we'll go in. And we're pulling these boxes off the shelves, and there's just these big fuck-off spiders. Like, going to a shed, there's big fuck-off spiders. And I was just like, oh, can't do this.
Like occupational hazard, isn't it? You know? Yeah.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, when you work here, when I first came here, you were tasked with anything. Like, everybody just got stuck in. It didn't matter what your actual role was. There was stuff that needed to be done, and if you could do it, like, get it done. And, I loved that. I love like just like jumping about and helping wherever I can and stuff like that. And every day was different. It was different every day. It was never boring, and like it was. I loved it, and like Cara welcomed me in here. She spent so much, like you spent so much time with me. Just like making sure that I was all right. Like you were patient with me in terms of try to teach me everything that was going on here, because I literally knew nothing, absolutely not a thing. I started speaking to the guys a little bit as well, and they were helping me too. And yeah, like it was a welcoming place. It was different. I'd never experienced or felt like that before. In terms of like working in a company, it was interesting. So yeah, yeah, that's
Lovely. Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely remember, like, when I say being on the outside, it was never really like that far on the outside.
No.
Like, we're quite close. And I remember when you kind of moved over to G&M, it's like it did just feel like a kind of perfect fit in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really did make, like, it just made sense, definitely. I think, like, so if you're obviously we're reminiscing about all the chaos and calamities and all that from the past. Like, is there anything that, so this is kind of like a two-pronged question for both of you in a way. Is there anything that, like, with 2020 hindsight, you kind of look back on, like, how things were handled at the time, and like how you handled yourself more is what I'm kind of getting at. Is there anything that you would say you maybe misunderstood about either yourself or each other maybe at that time, that, like, we're 7-8 years down the line now. What's it like to reflect on that kind of now, and like kind of let's say how far you've come since then, like maybe a big question, but
I mean, there's so many stories, right? Like, in terms of
more about like how's your perspective maybe changed, like having gone through it.
I think for me specifically, I came in with a belief in the way that I saw leadership and how to lead people, and it was. It was so strong, like ridiculously strong to the point where, like, you tell me another way, I'm just like, absolutely no fucking way. Like I believe in this way. And I think, like, that is where I have learnt a lot from Cara in terms of that. So, like, there's a couple of specific things that are coming up for me now, and one of them is there's failure. So, like, I remember a time where we were doing email marketing, and we were working with a company on the email marketing we were going to set up, and I, like, really believed in that. Yeah,
this is a good one.
Yes. I had, like, utter belief in this thing working, because like we were looking for different ways in terms of growing the business and stuff. I'm like, that's the thing. That was what was in my head. You invested the money into this program, essentially, to get the email marketing up and running, and it took so long to get it set up, and it was so long, it was very complicated, and it wasn't getting the time that it needed. But I wasn't seeing that at the time. I was just like, we were faced with so many other things at the time as well. We were literally trying to battle between growth projects and doing ops. And between them both, ops always wins every single time. But I didn't see that at the time. I just believed, like, no, we have to do this thing. I see it long term. This is going to work. And then eventually, you pulled the plug on it, and you said, like, we need to stop this because I can't remember what the reasons were at the time, but it's probably we can't afford it. And it's not really working just now. And I remember you saying, like, it's not the time for it right now. And I was devastated about it, just because of the amount of belief that I had in seeing it working. And I remember the day that we sat in your van.
Yep.
I think we were coming back from an event.
Yep.
And you were like, look, Nicola, failure. And you had this, like, patient, deep conversation with me about just failure in general. And I think it was the first time that I've ever heard that from someone, faced it with someone. And at the time, like, I didn't see it, and I don't think I fully understood it at the time when you were saying it to me. But on reflection, and after I got over myself as well, I respected you for it, because I seen you, the way that you present yourself in the world, the way that I see you presenting yourself in the world, is just like, failure's not an option. But then you sat down and had that conversation with me about failure, and I respected that for you, because actually it was just a human thing. It was a complete human thing to say that, and it took courage to say that to me as well. And then beyond that, you were patient with me as well, because I had a lot of feelings around it. And, like, that's one of the things about you, Cara, is, like, you know the aftermath of what people could potentially be feeling, even if you say the hard thing. But you are so patient with anybody in here in terms of them moving through their emotions to get to the other side of it, because you see the outcome of it, and you are right, and you just give us the space.
Yeah. I mean, can we, like what were you actually going through like in that moment then, like Nick? So obviously you correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I kind of remember the story as well. It's like it was a very big, say complicated, but just lots of steps to it, lots of layers to it, and like nurture campaigns and all that sort of stuff, wasn't it? And so like what I'm getting from you is that, you know, you were able to see the long term and the fact that it was probably the right decision to make, but maybe didn't change the fact that maybe felt like the rug was getting pulled from under you.
Absolutely, yeah, and not just the rug though, Nikki. It's like this was your project, and I'm saying to you, no, you're stopping that now. Yeah, you're not doing that anymore. And you're like, well, I am doing it because I've just spent all of this fucking time and effort, and I know how it's going to finish. You've not worked on it. You don't know how it works. Why would you get to be the one that gets to say whether it stops or not? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does that sound right? Is that?
Yeah, aye. It's a hard thing to face it, and like I say, it's the first time that I've probably faced it to that kind of extent as well. And like, I mean, the emotions come up for you, like you're fucking raging. Yeah, like resentment comes up as well, and like you struggle to let go. Like you like for me, it's just struggling to let go of that thing. But and like, I think for me in that moment, well, beyond that, like that's the moment I always look back to when faced with failure. I mean, we've faced other things as well where things have not gone well for us. And have I learned from just that specific moment? No, not entirely. I think like
it's like you probably have learned from it.
Yeah, I have.
Whether you choose to listen to it.
Just to give you some credit. Do you know what I mean? Like, but like, does it mean that every time you are faced with that problem, you automatically go back to,
I know what's happening.
I remember this.
Yeah.
You know, because like that's just human nature.
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
have to go through the motions of it.
Totally.
But
well,
like,
and that kind of sunk cost bias that we all have, like where it's like you've put so much effort and time and money and all the rest of it into it, and then you're like, well, no, if I just keep hammering this nail, it'll stick. Do you know what I mean? But and eventually you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's it. And like, I mean, that doesn't need to be the scenario all the time. Like, it depends where. That's the other thing that I picked up from that as well. It depends where you are at the business, and that was the bit that I didn't understand at the time. I thought we're a business, and I thought the mindset was that like you put your mind to it, you keep going, and then you'll get to the outcomes. You can still have that, but sometimes from what I've learned from you is, it depends where you are at the business at the time and how the business is performing, and you've got decisions to make, and you need to manage the finances of that as well and see how it's performing. So ultimately it is up to you whether you pull the plug on these things or not. Whether I understand or not, you do eventually. You do understand it eventually. You just need to listen. So like I went from the mindset of you keep going to just like, oh, actually, like this can actually happen. Like you can't, like things cannot work out. You can't. You will be faced with failure. So it's how do you face those?
Absolutely. Like, so how do you kind of navigate that as a leader, Cara?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking like in the context of where you say, you know, outward facingly, like, you know, failure's not an option. In terms of like how I go about my business and how I go about the world. And I think it's just understanding like the different nuances around what failure actually means. So I actually come from a background of very much fail fast. So, you know, if things, it's not to stop you from trying things. I want everybody to be able to try things as much as possible. And it's like, you know, a sort of like innovator's mindset of like, what can we do to make this better, and does this need to be fixed? You know, so that's where I'm at. And when we go into the sort of like the growth aspect of the business and where you're at just now, I think you'll find you're far more comfortable in the projects that you're working on right now, knowing that they might not be the right thing. And I think back then, when we were trying out this big investment, like I'd got money specifically for this to invest in this thing that we were going to do. And all the while, when I was gaining an understanding of what the premise was and what the outcome should be, I was very much feeling like this is very similar to a bunch of other scenarios I have been in the past, where you are speaking to a consultant and they are in charge of some expertise, and in order for you to gain funding, you have to do what they say. And 9 times out of 10, the consultant will know their expertise and will be very good at their job, but they don't know our business. And I know that it's a sort of like egotistical thing to say that but we're different. But under the hood, like if that person's not listening to you, if that consultant's not actually understanding you, then they'll not get you to the outcome. And ultimately, where we were at in that project, I really felt as though what was happening was that we were being shoehorned into a method that might not be the right thing for G&M. And the length of how long it was taking and the money that was then pigeonholed to that was out with budget and out with time frame. And then when I always work on a flag basis. So when I've got more than 3 red flags on something that is a big investment or requires a lot of time, attention, or capital, if there's more than 3 red flags, then I have to really consider being the person that says no to it. And that's just a way of me managing my own expectations over what we should be focusing on. Because as a company, you can focus on a million things at any one time. And there's only going to be one of them that's going to be right for you. So, but especially when it comes to sales and marketing, because we know from our own experiences, like how like overloaded and this is the shiny new thing, pay attention to me. Let's give that a try. Let's give that a try. Let's give that a try. And then, I think really now, 2025, like finding like proper serious foundations in terms of what we concentrate on in sales and marketing. That comes from obviously having Amy in our designated post, but also us and our experiences of trial and error over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think that particular example that you give is just one of the most, like the core memory of the time where we've put all this investment, everything should be working. I've got all this time. I know what the outcome's supposed to be. This should theoretically be perfect, and it not. And the sort of like all the counteracting factors around it just being pointing to no, pointing to that's enough now.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's so funny that you're saying about how, like you try a project and like it just doesn't, it's just not right for you. And it's funny when you're saying like, like, oh, it's egotistical to say that like we are different. And it's like, I think it's like completely not at all. But in that, like, the funny thing about we are different is that everybody says we are different. But the funny thing is that everyone is different. Like every business is different, actually. And that, like, the kind of line of work that I'm in, where you see a lot of people in my industry being like, this is the way you're supposed to do things.
Yeah.
And you're like, aye, but what if it isn't? And as you've alluded to, it's like you can go down a road where you sink a lot of money and time and energy and et cetera into something, and you go, well, hang on a minute, like something's not right. And the thing I kind of find funny about it is like, well, it, while okay, we had to pull the rug on it at the time. I say we, I wasn't part of that. We, the collective, the royal we, you had to pull the rug on that at the time. But like, look where you are now.
I know.
So the business has actually a really good functioning email marketing system where customers are nurtured and you're also giving them all the stuff that they need because you know what they need, rather than being prescribed a method, as you say, to the because this is how email marketing works. It's like, well, instead, what you're flipping on its head and saying, well, this is how our customers are. This is what we do. This is how we interact with our customers. This is what we give them. So we're going to build something that's ours. Yeah. That's unique to you, that works for your unique customers as well.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's like so good to see, you know?
And it's not to discredit that project that you're working on either, because we've learned so much from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's
yeah.
I was like to say, like, you know,
It's
I
it's
think I know
version 2.
I think I know who you're
yeah.
on about as well, and like, you know, incredibly intelligent people who did some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Just at the time, it just wasn't right for
No.
you. Do you know what I mean? And bear in mind, like, you didn't have an email marketing
No.
system at all. Like, you
Yeah.
didn't have a list. Do you know what I mean? And building something like that from scratch is like
Yeah.
really hard, because it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and if you've got a list of 30 people or something, like, how are you supposed to make big decisions on how you work on them? But anyway, without going down an email marketing tangent. No, totally. I mean, the definitely that kind of ability to spot the red flags, kind of be that, like, I don't know, where like you sense a change in the wind or something like that. That's like something's just not kind of right, you know. Like, where do you think that comes from?
Like, personally for me,
Cara, where do you think that comes from? Yeah, sorry.
Fuck knows. I don't know. I feel like if you ask my parents, I've always been quite headstrong when it comes to knowing what I want or how I want to do something, and I'm quite sort of like independent in the sense that I'll just go and try it and do it myself. And so I've always kind of just had that nature about me. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's like always been something that I've felt confident about doing either. So like when you think about like making business decisions and doing the right thing, even if it upsets people, and in the short term might seem wrong for those nearest to you and stuff like that. I think that just comes from a sort of like self-esteem position for me, and there's just certain people that feed into my self-esteem and support me in a way that helps me be the better version for everybody else.
Who are those people?
Nicola is front and center for that one, especially in leadership. I think before we started working together, before we really started to hone in on the leadership stuff, I floundered quite a lot in terms of knowing my place. I felt undermined quite a lot. I felt like I had to justify myself, even more so for being the boss's daughter. And in hindsight, what I know now as because I'm a woman. And I felt at the time a great sense of sort of worry when I'd made a decision, and a back and forth in my head a lot about whether or not it was right, overanalyzing, overthinking, worrying, stressing. And it's not to say I don't do those things now, it's just that I recognise them. Whereas before I thought they were very real. Whereas now I recognise, oh no, wait, you're just tired, have a sleep, get up in the morning, see how you feel then. And it's not to say, like my decisions are informative. They are made based on facts and the whole picture, but a lot of it comes from gut, and that just comes from self-belief, which is where you come in terms of leadership for sure. I think knowing that I have at least one person that believes that I can lead this company properly, which has been you, and it's been you on several occasions where it's just been you, especially when it's been really hard decisions to make, and knowing that you you believe in me, to an extent of like the technicalities or the detail as to why we have to do something a certain way. More so than when I speak about Kath and the way that she holds me up as a person. You hold me up as a leader, and the confidence that you have in me to lead. That's a huge deal in terms of my success and being able to be confident about what we're trying to do here. And I know like how hard that would be to gain if you didn't come with me, if you didn't stay here, to gain that level of confidence or self-belief, without you helping me would be fucking excruciatingly painful.
Do you think there's a sense, I mean, I don't know, I'm getting like, because what I'm seeing here is like you're not afraid. You're definitely one of these people that's like not afraid to be vulnerable and kind of admit where you need help and all that. And I don't know, like, I don't think that's something you see very often.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm thinking, let's just say, for example, people on LinkedIn. Right? We love to speak with people on LinkedIn. But in that way of like, as a leader, you're supposed to be this, and like I don't know if it's this like stoicism ride that everybody's on at the moment, but like, that way of like, you have to just sort your own shit out, basically, right? And if you don't sort your shit out, well, you're maybe not cut out for it. Or maybe you need to like spend more time working on yourself or whatever it is. And that's not to say that not any of that's not true. And it's not even, I'm not even like dunking on stoicism or that either. No. But what I'm more getting at is this: is that there feels like a very heavy responsibility on the individual to sort their individual selves out individually, right?
Right, yeah,
But what you're saying is that, like, I can only do this because I've got people behind me.
Fucking right,
do
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nobody's self-made.
No.
I'll fucking love that bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, no, like, it's...
Where did you come from, mate? No, seriously, where did you come from? Because that wasn't it, you.
No. You usually have to peel back one incredibly thin layer to realise that, it's
I love
not quite
that.
like that. So, I mean, like, Nick, you have talked lots on this podcast so far in the season about, how much, kind of Cara bears the weight of everything and is such a strong leader. Like, is there like a really kind of standout moment that for you in the time you've been here really like either, I don't want to say just like illustrates that point, but like kind of actually made you go, holy moly, like...
Yeah, it was COVID. Like, COVID was wild, like absolutely wild. So like everybody was faced with COVID in their own different ways, and we are all sitting, flapping and scared and wondering what the fuck is going on and lost, like most of society, and we're just like, what the fuck do we do next? Cara's obviously wondering the same thing as well, but Cara's owns a business. She's got to make decisions. She's got to act fast. And what I've seen from her in the COVID moments was she stepped up. She communicated so clearly. You showed strength and confidence, and you gave us a path. You guided us. So when we didn't have at that moment what felt like no purpose at all, you just honed in on that and went, here's your purpose, here's the path, this is exactly what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And like that moment was like that was defining for the whole business. I think that moment was what turned the business around, because I think you also seen an opportunity. We're lucky we were in the garden sphere, essentially, where people were spending their money. So you seen the opportunity, and if we didn't go for that opportunity, we wouldn't be here. Like, that's it. We would have been done. So you were just like, right at the beginning, there was no hesitation. It was just like, no, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to continue to sell, and we don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we will sell. And obviously the workshop's not going to can't work right now until we figure something out, until we hear more about what was going on. So in that moment, like, it was just, I think it was me and you in that moment, and we were just dipping our toes into digital kind of transformation before COVID kicked off, and at that moment we had to completely digitally transform, and we could do it because me and you had the skill to do it. Like, even though we were like at that time we were working in what felt like a 90s business with all the paperwork and stuff like that, which was great because I fucking loved paperwork, right? But we had the skill there to be able to completely transform it.
Like, what sort of things were you, like, transforming digitally, just to like explain the context a little bit?
So we had like a big A4 diary.
Yeah.
And that was like our gospel, that was our Bible, and that's where everything came from. So that's where we scheduled in all the customers' deliveries, any sort of visit that was required, everything went in there. And then from that diary, it was taken down physically to the workshop, to the big whiteboard where Dad would write up everybody's jobs for the next 3 weeks, and that was his whiteboard planning session and assigning all the jobs. And then all of our orders were on 3 copies of paper with the
Or like the carbon paper. in
carbon
between.
copy in between. Yeah.
So actually, when you say 90s business, with
Yeah, we were
paper,
talking
I'm like,
90s, yeah.
oh right, oh that
Yeah.
one. Like actually, it's that
Yeah.
paper business, right?
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
okay.
Yeah. And we couldn't get it past that point. I remember doing a project at university, would have been like 2014 or something like that.
It's like, here, have you ever heard of this thing called a Google Calendar?
Yeah, I know, yeah. And it was just like technology just wasn't there yet. We were just a little bit shy. And then even still, like we still get pissed off with the way that our digital transformation works. But yeah, we did something right.
Aye, we did that, and then sales wise, like we had to make sure that we could do consultations and stuff online. We had to figure out like how do we turn up online more and show people more in terms of what it is that they're buying. And
because for context, like you went from being a busy business still, but then when COVID hit and everybody's bored at home and want to spend money on their houses because they're sick of spending time with their family.
Yes.
They want to build a garden room or garage or whatever, and it's like you were like queued at the door doesn't even cover it, does it?
Average of 25 orders up to 150 is what we were at. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it was just me and Nick.
Yeah.
So it's like 7x.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we were doing that whilst kids are at home.
Yep.
And you're trying to preoccupy your kids, make sure that they're all right, your family's all right. And they had school, so you were trying to
educate them
as well. So you were just doing it was mental, like absolutely. I didn't even know how like I don't even know how I did it. I didn't even care how you did it because you had more than that. I was only in the sales and marketing, but you were doing that whilst making business decisions, whilst trying to figure out how to get operations back into the workshop again, and making sure that the business survives, making sure they're full up, everything. You had so many tedious decisions to make in those moments, and doing sales and marketing, and looking after your oh my god, like I don't care how you did it. Like,
yeah, neither did I.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an autoimmune disease from it, so that every cloud.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's rough. Like, because I think like I remember you said that you were like COVID changed everything. COVID changed everything for the business, and COVID changed things personally as well. And you took on like a ridiculous amount to save the business and I mean, save us all, make sure that we all had jobs and stuff as well, and that we were all looked after. And like ultimately, that was your sacrifice. And that's it's a paradox, isn't it? Because it's just like it's an amazing thing because we're all still here and we're thriving. And
the cost. There's always a cost. Yeah.
I mean, like, I think. I don't think there's anyone who can kind of look back on the 2020, 2021 period and go like, what on earth were we doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, because it was mad. Like, like everybody was thrown into this like headless chicken kind of like we didn't know what we should or shouldn't do, and then you got the social stigma of whether you were socialised with your pals or whatever. But that aside, even like so, this was like proper like out the frying pan into the fire kind of stuff, right? Like kind of looking back and maybe you want to look at it through rose tinted glasses, maybe not, right? What would you say to yourselves now, like looking back, hindsight, obviously you've been through it, we're where we are now, like more about like how you handled it, like what would you say to that? What would you say to that person 5 years ago?
For me, I think we did the best that we could. And I'm grateful for the people in the company and for them to understand how difficult it was to navigate that and to be on board and supportive of it. I didn't get any resistance. There was no pushback. Everybody was so compassionate towards one another, looking after each other, holding each other to account. That's when we started introducing the stand-ups as well. Yeah. That was to get to get everybody's temperature, to get whether anybody's been compromised. Like, because we were one of the first industries back, and it was really strict in terms of what we were and weren't allowed to do whilst working together, because we were an outdoor business. And honestly, the team, they managed it so well. They just followed my lead, and I couldn't be more grateful to them for it, because it obviously put us in a better stead. And I don't think I would have changed anything about how I handled it. It was crazy, and we got there. So
yeah. What about you, Nick?
I agree. Like, there's nothing you would change about it. Like, who knows who would have been if you just made one different, you know, kind of choice. Like, it was hard, and we had to do what we had to do. And like, honestly, I didn't have a clue. It was Cara that like led it. It was you that guided it all. You gave us the purpose. You gave us the path, and we followed along. And that's the strength. Like, how courageous and strong you are as well, to just pull us all together and go, annoy us to go, let's go. Like, let's look after each other.
I think it's probably fair to say that nobody really knew what they were doing, but like, even just that thing of, right, we'll make a decision, move forward, try and maybe fail fast, turn around if you need to. So, I think that's totally right. It just rings true, completely. So in terms of like, so obviously we've talked a bit about, you know, a moment in time that like completely changed the business. Is there a moment in time that changed your relationship, the two of you? Is there like a standout moment that kind of, like, for the better, for the worse? I don't know. Like, I'll let you be the judge of that. But is there anything that sticks out to you?
I don't know. We've been through an awful lot.
There's been small tedious moments, and we've had big moments. Like that. There has been times that we haven't seen eye to eye, like on things. And I think like the biggest thing that we are both passionate about is people, and the biggest paradox is people in business. Like, we've spoken about this so many times in terms of like, how do you support the people and run the business and make a profit at the same time, like, and be able to make the right decisions because of that. And that's where we have not seen eye to eye sometimes. Like, we've clashed on that. But ultimately, like, what it comes down to is like, we both care about the same thing. I have definitely misunderstood situations in the past and have seen the outcome of it later. Again, like, this is you being patient, this is you going like, this has to be done, and you know this, you'll see why later. And absolutely, hindsight is a great thing, because like, you can see everything now, like, you can exactly what you're doing. And I totally like trust you in that, and like, and that's the hardest thing, I think. Like, and I think that's where we bond the most, I suppose.
I think it's the coming back and the understanding. I think, like, so transitionally wise, like, I think there's, if you maybe take it back like 2 or 3 years maybe, and there's a time with you, Nick, where we're out the back end of COVID. We're both actually quite ill, and for you almost life-threateningly ill. And when coming out of that, the sort of like the emotional letdown of what you'd just been through, and the time that you needed to repair yourself, but not just physically, because that was exhausting enough, but just mentally, to get yourself ready again, to be Nick. So that, in that moment, I remember feeling scared, in terms of like thinking out, hoping that I was saying the right things and doing the right things to support you well enough, and giving you time and space, but at the same time being scared that you might not come back. And then, so from coming from that position to most recently reaffirming your secondment as your permanent role, to now to being in a place where I see how how vital you are to my leadership, and the crux of which I rely on in terms of some of the most important decisions I've had to make, and finding it so much more comfortable and at peace being able to share them with you now, knowing that you're not so deep-seated in everyday. So having you at a distance from the everyday helps me immensely with the actual bigger decisions and the sort of vision and the running of the company, working on the company, where in that. And I
because
feel
you're
like
not getting like swallowed up.
Nick's not just like, oh shit, I've got this customer to deal with, got that to do, this person needs that. So like I can now confidently and comfortably go to Nick, and Nick will receive me so well and listen to whatever shit that I'm having to deal with in that moment. You take the time, you've got the patience and the peace to look at it from an outside perspective, to open your mind to it. You've got space to breathe in it. And then you come back to me with your feedback, your honest feedback about, where I'm bang on point, where I need to think more deeply about it, where I need to ask myself other questions about it, to then be able for me to move forward and progress and make right decisions. That transformation, that's the transformation of me and Nick now, is that the decisions that I've made to benefit Nick have now full circle benefit me. And that's something that is like completely was unknown to me. Like I knew you were going to help me operationally wise because you were doing the big projects, taking on the big tasks like the podcast and stuff, like, and the price guide and all that sort of stuff, leaning into your creative, doing all the photography, getting the case studies, all of like this so important stuff for us to be able to sell properly, for us to be able to engage with our customers and relate. You were able to do that. That was like immensely brilliant for me. Full stop. Like that would have done perfectly. Like, wow, can't even imagine what difference this is going to make. But also as a sort of like sideline to that, it also gives you the headspace to actually be my confidant as well and help me like even more so. So like, I like that's like, it's beautiful.
That is.
You do the right thing, and the right thing does matter. It does count, and it will help in the long term.
I want to add to like what you picked up on there in terms of when I was ill, and because I think people need to know this about you.
Yeah.
So I was ill. I was off. And then I had a major operation, came back after 3 weeks. You were like, take all the time that you need. And I'm like, I have no idea what time that I need. I just need to get back to work because like I'm just sitting here thinking about this thing all the time. So like come back, can I come back to work? And you're just like, yeah, but take your time. And it was 3 months later or something, like it all kind of crashed down. Like, so I didn't really understand the mental impact that the mental and emotional load of it. I wasn't dealing with that, and I ended up completely burnt out. And I remember in the office that day, like so clearly, like you were coaching me so slowly and just like, Nicola, like you put the laptop down, and like you'll be fine. You didn't need to do anything else just now. I need you to put the laptop down, and then you need to go, and then you need to go and have time off, and like, because I didn't understand it at the time. You knew what was going on, but I had no idea what was going on at that time, and I'm just like, I think I was totally resistant, right? I was just like, no, you need help, like, like we've got things to do, blah blah blah. And you're like, no, you need time off. So I'm like, right, okay. So I left that day, and you continued to check in on me and stuff. And when you were checking on me, there's a couple of things that you did. You introduced me to therapy, which I'd never been to before, which I am so grateful for. I didn't realise like how important it was to have something like that in your life. Like therapy in itself has shifted me as a person and put me in a different direction. But one of the things that you said in one of the calls that we had was to look at your values. So there was one thing that you said to me was like, you need to put yourself first, and then it's you and Stephen, and then it's you, Stephen, and the kids, and then everything else. And I've never ever forgotten that. Like that thing in itself, like what you described to me that day, has completely shifted everything for me. It's all I constantly think about. It's in my my diary every day. There's a me list, a home list, and then a work list.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly, and the me list is never quite finished, but that's what I'm always thinking about. So the things that I think about when I'm setting goals for the year, you know, and all that. And I share that with other people as well.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
I'm like, when you told me that, I always pass it on to other people. I'm like, right, it's you.
Yeah.
You in your relationship, you know. And like, I will forever, like, that changed my life. Like, you introducing me to therapy and you sharing that values framework with me completely shifted me as a person, shifted my life. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better parent. It's made me a better partner. It's made me just be better in the world. And I can't be any more. I'm just so grateful for that. Like, I can't tell you like how much that just shifted everything for me. And that is it about you. Like, you care. You spend the time. You like, you give so much more than, like, I can't even imagine like a leader giving people. Like, you genuinely care about people. You're always like invested in their lives. You're invested. You talk about it. You're invested in their dreams. You continue to talk about that in the vision with people, and like you may be misunderstood at points on the outside, but like if you just stop for a moment and listen. Just like really deeply listen, like, you'll see what it is that you want for them in the world, and like, you turn up, you do your work, you'll contribute to that, and you'll get to your dreams. That's all you want for people. You give it all, and again, that's you'll give someone all the time in the world, even when you didn't have that time yourself. But you still do it, and like that people will remember that forever. Like, you make people better. You do.
Cheers, lass. It's cute.
I think we're all getting a wee bit glassy eyed with that. You know? Thank you for that, Nick. That was lovely. Yeah. Yeah, like, Nick, you've shared so much about, you know, Cara as a leader and like how she holds everybody up and all that. I have to say, like, all that as if it's like such not a big deal, because it is actually a really big deal. But Cara, like I see this in you all the time. Like, I mean, I could probably go on like a 20-minute tangent about how much you've helped me in my life, right? But like, where does that come from for you? Like really, if you actually like, and maybe I'm asking a really big question.
I don't know. What I do know is that what I can understand is when other people don't think like that. It really confuses me. Like, when I see people not wanting to care about somebody else, I don't get it. Like, when people are like sort of spiteful and nasty about how somebody's behaving or who they are as a person, attacking things that are something that people can't change about themselves. Sure. Shit like that. Like, I've never understood it. And I think, bullying probably helped form who I am. So I think... Well,
it's like there's like an old sort of adage, if you like, of that kind of like hurt people thing.
Yeah.
So like, I always find it really interesting. So like, even the fact that you brought that, we don't need to go down that road necessarily, but I think even that, if somebody's met with, let's just say, hostile conditions, right, at some point in their lives, in their youth or whatever, it's like you can go, I feel like, one of two ways, which is like, one, you become a bully, or you like go completely the opposite way. And there's some, and I think, I almost feel like some of it must be made. But some of it's not made. It's just who you are, like, and how you see the world.
I think that is right. I know from a young age, like, if my parents were to speak about me as a child and stuff like that, like, I absolutely loved animals. When I was I was a vegetarian from 4 years old, and I had like this obsession with the adverts about third world countries and them needing fed, water, medicine, whatever, and making my mum sponsor them. And I found out it wasn't even that long ago. It must have been within the last sort of like 5-10 years, not even 10 years, say 5 years. Like I found out that my mum was still sponsoring.
Oh,
Still sponsoring.
amazing.
And she's like got this wee letter from somebody that's like 36 now. Like she's seen them through university or something like that. Just totally
like
random.
that £2 a month
Yeah.
stacks up, you know?
Yeah. Just like shit like that. I remember feeling all of those things when I was wee. I felt deeply and emotionally about compassionate. Sort of, that was just who I was. It wasn't just enough to understand why somebody might be sad. It was I had to go the extra bit to try and make them not sad anymore, or be their friend, or comfort them, or whatever. So like I'm always quite emotional about that sort of thing. I'll cry at anything on the telly. You know, I always get the piss ripped out of me for that. And I think like yeah, so it's like coming away like as a teenager and stuff like that. I was really quite bullied badly in primary school. I remember just like, you know, not having the right stuff and just being picked on a bit for being a bit of a gadgie, and just being a little bit rough out there, not like anybody else. Quite tomboyish, especially when it got to high school and stuff like that. Folk just didn't like me. I wasn't a good person, like a cool person to hang about with. And then I got a bit older, I didn't bother with school that much, and sort of found my place, found my people, and you know friendships sort of started to really form in terms of like just a bunch of misfits who sort of like congregate together and then start looking after each other, and that's kind of like
the ferals from Errol.
Yeah, pretty much, so like that sort of mentality, and I think like even in those circumstances, like people still didn't really get me. I remember like always being called like two-faced as well. I remember this, like one person was really gunning for me about being somebody that's two-faced. And I just thought, I couldn't understand what that meant.
That blows my mind, because if there's one thing I would never ever describe you as two-faced, because like to me, you are a what you see is what you get.
Well, this is it.
You know?
So what I see now in hindsight, like I remember that really stuck with me.
Like, wait a minute, is the call coming from inside the house?
Hello.
You know,
but it was because they couldn't believe or couldn't understand that that I could be this genuine, that I would be saying these things. So it was more about like that you have to be two-faced, because why would you be so truthful about this? And I don't know, like, you know, we talk about neurodivergent and all that all the time and stuff like that. You know, there's probably something in there, and I think like coming from that place of like caring for others, I've got to balance it. I asked my husband the other day about what is people pleasing and what is genuinely doing the right thing for somebody. You know, how do you tell the difference? And we were like, if you're being asked or are you asking? And it's like, you know, trying to decipher whether or not you're doing it because you think that is good for the person and that you are actively wanting to, or are you doing it because you think that if you don't, then that's the answer. If there's an alternative, if you don't do this, then that person's going to be upset, angry, blah, blah, blah. But if you're just doing it on impulse and you feel that you're compelled to, like, is that compulsion
it's almost
natural,
like
or is there a
like you're doing it almost
consequence?
as I don't want to say a gift to the other person, maybe it is as a gift to the other person rather than to avoid yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
or if there's going to be a gain from it as well. I'll do this and they'll get this, blah, blah, blah. So I think I managed to establish to myself, like when I hear people talking about people pleasing all the time, that's definitely not what I do. I do know that innately that's not what I'm looking for. There's not a personal gain there. And also when I do these things, I genuinely do feel compelled. Like this is like a gut, heart wrench thing that I have to, and I wouldn't be able to settle knowing that there was something I could do to help, and I chose not to. Because I think, who knows? I'm sure my therapist has got more to say on that. But I think like
you definitely have a very clear picture of what's right and wrong.
Yeah,
like that's something I could definitely say for you. Like that you can take nuance, you can hold
Yeah.
them simultaneously, and you can even be like, this is hard, but you know,
Yeah.
that's definitely something I see in you.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely. So I think we could talk for a really, really long time. Okay, like a really, really long time.
Really long.
And this has been like such a lovely podcast experience. You know, like listening to the pair of you talk about each other. I hope everybody's enjoyed the episode so far. I would like to leave on a parting, I don't know, what will we call it? It's not like the Jerry Springer final thought, but like,
It definitely is.
if there's one thing, and I'm going to ask Cara, if there's one thing that Nick has taught you in the time that you've known each other, what is it? And make it one thing. Because you could, I'm sure there's
tons.
many.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sure there's many, but like,
there's-
is there something you feel like you haven't said?
No. I think I know which one is the one that comes to mind most frequent in terms of like when I am faced with decision making and or dealing with emotion, because I can get really hepped up and quite frantic and impulsive. Like I always find myself recognizing the influence that Nick has over me in terms of finding my core, my zen, chill the fuck out, think about it, write it down, work through it. All the good stuff that you're supposed to do as a fucking proper, responsible, functioning adult with responsibilities and big decisions to make. Like that's the biggest influence that you have on me, is like, be more Nick. Like really fucking hone in on yourself, zen the fuck out, have a thought, sleep on it, decide in the morning. Yeah, definitely. Rather than burn the fucking place down.
I mean, I was just about to ask you, like, well, like
The alternative.
well, it's yeah, like, you know, what kind of impacts that had in your life? It's like, just that you've just set less fires.
A lot less fires. Yeah, a lot less tables flipped, a lot less fallouts. Yeah.
And you feel better for it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm zen as fuck.
Excellent. Nick, what about you? What would you say is, you know, one final word, if you like, on the biggest thing that, or the most impactful thing that Cara's taught you in the time that you've been together? I say that like you're a couple, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're in your wedding dresses.
We're very
like,
yin and yang as well. I was just thinking that.
That's the opposite. That's been a theme throughout the podcast.
Yeah.
I know.
I think the biggest thing that Cara has taught me is that you are allowed to look after yourself and put yourself first. I didn't think I would get that from anybody else. That's her teaching me that has made my life better, and it will continue to make my life better. And I didn't think there's any bigger lesson that I would be able to take away from Cara than that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I certainly know that, like, I mean, I think everybody probably does this to a point. And you probably both of you, probably also, you know, you end up busy and you know, like, you kind of do the spiral thing where, like, you're just always on to the next thing. Like, and I know I find myself doing that sometimes myself, where, like, you know, you just run yourself ragged. Do you know what I mean? And I always think the one thing I always think is really cool about you, Cara, is that every now and again and it maybe is when you're focusing on sorting your life out or whatever it is, right? And you'll post pictures of your plan for the day, like, or your to-do list.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it earlier. It's like you've got the me, the me and Chris, the kids, the work, and do you know what it is? It's like, I see that, and I mean, my first thing is like, oh, like, that's like, it's so cool that you're actually doing that for yourself. But like, I kind of go like, oh yeah, I should be doing that as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like it gives you, in a way, I feel like and it sounds kind of silly in a way it sounds silly to me to say, but it's that almost like gives you permission to say, well, oh yeah, like, I'm allowed to focus on myself there. And in that way of, like, because I don't know, like, some people might think it's selfish or whatever, but actually, like, it's like the old thing about the oxygen mask, you know, like, it's you put yours on first. Yeah. Because you can't help others if you're, you know, like, run ragged, exhausted, tired, whatever it is, you know. And I just think it's like, and it, you know, the pair of you definitely look after each other, like, so well. Like, I see it. I see it myself all the time. And I don't know what is it what's the thing? I'm trying to remember. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's that thing of like whose time is it, or whose turn is it to be the one that's getting watered?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it's like, and it will probably, and obviously you can't always be all the time, right?
Yeah.
On whatever side of the coin that is, but I feel like, you know, the pair you can recognize when you need help, and you can recognize when you yourselves need help. You can know when to ask for it. You can know when to give it when you can see it in them as well. And I just think it's great. I definitely like the pair of you. I just think are just swell.
We are.
Just love yous. Pure love yous.
Thanks, Ross.
Well, I think that is probably
us.
I think that's us. We're going to wrap up this episode.
Sake.
You're hired. You're coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go back anytime you like.
Yeah.
I think I like to like lean into my sort of dulcet.
Maybe you need to up your fee if you're going to start that shit.
No, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure interviewing the pair of you. So enjoyed my time on the Natty Shed Life podcast.
Oh, yes.
Stepping from behind the camera to in front of it. So.
Yeah. The fourth wall has entered the room.
Yes, I am the fourth wall. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's ours, the final one. Oh,
so actually,
well, it has been like so now. Episode 15. How knackered are you?
We're knackered.
I'm fucking knackered, Nick.
I'm so fucking tired.
Who decided to do this? Who said let's do a fucking recording every Tuesday for the next million weeks?
Hold on, this was a collective.
Oh yeah.
Like kind of.
Who do we blame?
Turned into that.
Yeah. Okay, fair dues. I mean, I think we've done fucking shit hot. To be fair.
Yeah.
We've got our feet. We found our rhythm.
Yeah.
We know who we are. We're not over-analysing the video afterwards.
No, I think at the start we were just...
That was
scary. Brutal.
That was brutal.
Yeah, but I think we're just... that's
comfy
it.
now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
What was the hard? How hard was it actually?
We were messaging each other like how are we going to get over ourselves? Yeah. We were like, right, I need to do this. I want the camera angle at this. I need to wear this. I need to stop leaning back. Got to sit more of this. Got to do. Like, we were like, when you were like, I was watching so-and-so on the telly and they're sitting like perched like that. And you're like, that can't be comfy. Why are they sitting like that? We're like trying to work out how we're going to get comfy with it and also be happy with the way that we look. But ultimately, I think if you're comfortable, you'll be happy with the way that you look. Don't be uncomfortable.
I mean, it also helps being beautiful, the period. I mean, look at you.
Yeah, I know.
Look at them.
I know. Look at us. We're gorgeous.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
Exactly. Well, no, well done.
Yeah.
Very well done. I have had the pleasure of being behind the scenes over there.
Yes.
Looking after you for the last 2 months.
We could not have done this. Yeah. Like, I remember us thinking about doing podcast ages ago, and we're just like so blasé. We're like, whatever. We'll just fucking crack open a mic. And then you're like,
I don't think you're supposed to crack open
ladies, how about, I mean, I've got some time. I could come out on the Tuesday if you like. We're like, I mean, if you've got time, Ross, whatever. Yeah, let's see how that goes. And this is where you're going to do it, Cara. Yeah, just in this garage like this. Well, I'll paint the wall or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we've actually got a stage.
Yeah, you've
we're
got a studio.
Soundproofing. We've got all the fucking
all
equipment.
The extra stuff, heaters, everything. Like, it's all going.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was quite funny, like, setting up for this episode, and I'm like sweating, like, running about because I'm like aware that I'm not going to be over there, like, checking everything and making sure. I'm like, really hoping this is being recorded. By the way.
Yeah. That's scary.
I didn't like happen to press the space bar. Or
I can see red lights. It's okay.
The cameras are recording, but who knows what the mics are doing? I mean, honestly, at this point. But no, this has been a very exciting, fun, satisfying project. For season 1 of the Natty Shed Life podcast.
Yes.
So season 2 will be coming in the new year at some point.
Aye.
We haven't quite decided
we have
yet.
no idea.
No.
I don't know if you can tell people that we are making this up as we go along.
But
looking forward to next season.
Yes.
In 2026. So, folks, I hope you've stuck by us for all the episodes so far in season 1. If you have enjoyed the Natty Shed Life podcast, please drop us a message either at hello@nattyshedlife.com I would love to hear your thoughts for what we could maybe talk about in the new year. Be sure to subscribe or follow us along on your favourite podcast app, and we will see you next time. If you have enjoyed watching or listening to the the Natty Chef Life.
Chef, that's the new one.
That's not
That's
one
the
we've
new
had
one.
yet.
Yeah, we've not had that one yet.
Right. So, okay, I'll try that again.
Nick, you're going to enjoy this too much. Stop enjoying this.
It's like Natty Chef Light, you know? So yeah, I think we can officially call that the end.
Yeah, no, turn her away.
I just need
Just
to
swivel
it's fine.
round.
I just need to like not look at Nick.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll work out in the editing. Then I get too stressed.
It's fine if
alright.
she just like
It's
pissing herself laughing in the background.